So I'm at an open house today it's an acreage inside a C.A.S.P, so a community area structure plan. And what that means is that it's the first phase when creating a subdivision. And so the first phase, it goes through the city and it has to go through approval process, and they basically do a high overview of what the community is going to look like. So it talks about the transportation, things like the sewer, the water, utilities, where's that all going to be? So like I said, a very high level overview. The second step is what is called an N.S.P, so a neighborhood structure plan. And that goes a little bit more into detail of the actual communities. So you could break it down to like the community of Lanark, community of Reunion. So it kind of divvies it up like that. So you can have multiple communities inside a C.A.S.P. Inside that N.S.P, they decide where's the school's going to be, where is the residential, the commercial. They get into a little bit more detail than the C.A.S.P when it comes to the N.S.P. The third phase is the land use designation, or otherwise known as the zoning. And so they work with the city and they decide what areas are zoned for what. So what spaces are zoned for commercial, mixed use, residential, or multifamily. The fourth phase is the subdivision approval phase. So this is where you're going to see some of that land go up for sale again and get sold off to other builders and developers. You're also going to find that some of the bigger developers that purchased the land is now starting to plan the phases of the development. So that's where you get into a community and you've got phase 1, 2, 3, upwards. So the last phase is the development and the permit phase, and that's where you start to see those homes pop up. They go to the city, they get the permits, and they start to get built, and communities begin. So you may ask yourself, who would buy an acreage inside a C.A.S.P? And what you're going to find is it's going to be investors, or it's going to be boutique developers or boutique home builders that are really looking at this property, because they're either going to develop in this area when the subdivision approval starts, or they'll be selling it off once it gets to that subdivision approval. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Always happy to chat.